Hello, this is Aaron to you too, and I'm going to be doing another DWR specific video, this one related to enemy abilities. So enemies can use a number of different abilities in battle. There's a total of 8, but first things first, I want to show you. This is the flag specifically we're looking at here. If this flag is enabled, you will have random monster abilities. If you turn this off, what you will see is certain enemies, like the Axe Knight always has 25% sleep. Red Dragon always has 25% sleep, and I think 50% Fire Breath. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is, but for the purposes of the training tournament, everything is going to be randomized, and this is a flag that's always on this Wayne standard. So we're not going to worry too much about the vanilla aspect. I just want to mention that right off the bat. So what we are going to do, I drew a little bit of an outline here. I'm just going to type these things as I say them, so to kind of reinforce it. I'm going to go over the 8 abilities enemies have, and then some other brief information about it. So these abilities are split into 2 categories. There's healing status effects, and then damage abilities. It is important to distinguish the difference in these, which we'll let you know here in just a moment. Why exactly. So as we go through the abilities here, enemy heal. Enemies, when they use heal, will recover 20 to 27 hit points. This is more than yours. So more than what the player's heal spell is. So it's something to keep in mind. If you're seeing them use heal, they've probably got 3 to 4 extra more hit points than what you'd be rolling. Anyway, there is this only procs when enemy HP is less than 25%. They will not use heal randomly, wildly. They only use it when it actually makes some sense to. It still might not make sense to do it, but, moving along. Heal more recovers 85 to 100 hit points. I believe that is the exact same as it is for players. Also, only when enemy HP is less than 25%. So this is why you hear people joke about when you look in a race and you'll see a metal slime with heal more. It will never cast heal more because its hit points can never be that low because it has a max of 3 anyway. But something to keep in mind, enemies like golems, stonemen, maybe even red dragons, when they cast heal more, may not be doing a full heal. You're probably going to want to stop spell that anyway if you have to fight them, but good to know. Enemy stop spell, 50% accuracy. That's just the most important thing, and blocked by Erdrick's armor, but will keep casting it anyway. So the enemy AI is not smart enough to realize that stop spell won't work, and they'll keep casting it. But the moment it does land, they will stop, and you'll never see that spell again. So having an enemy with stop spell can be really useful, but sometimes it's really bad. And speaking of really bad, perhaps the worst thing you can see here is sleep. Sleep has 100% accuracy, and you have a 50% chance to wake up after every round. Max is 6, which isn't something we came up with, creators of the randomizer, etc. It's just how it is. Something in the formula. So it's something to keep in mind. Also worthwhile to note, this spell is limited, which we'll get to later. I will do that at the end. So damage abilities. Moving on to the next subset, we have Hurt, which does 3 to 10 damage, and with magic armor or Erdrick's armor, it's reduced to 2 to 6 because those armors actually reduce the amount of damage you can take by a third from Hurt and Hurt More. It's actually the same. Erdrick's armor does the same for Dragon Breath and Dragon Warrior Breath, but we'll get to that in a second. Hurt More is still, again, weaker than what it is for the player to use, the same as Hurt, 30 to 45 damage with same as above. We're not going to bother typing that up. So, there you go. Dragon Breath, aka Fire Breath or Weak Breath. This does 16 to 23 damage, reduced to 10 to 14 with Erdrick's armor. Oh, you know what? I should actually write this out. to 20 to 30 with same as above. There we go. We can write the whole thing out. Dragon Lord's Breath, however, aka DL2 Breath, is what's usually referred to as, because in the vanilla game, that's the only enemy who uses it. This does a whopping 65 to 72 damage, reduced to 42 to 48. Excuse me, yeah, it's reduced to 42 to 48 with Erdrick's Armor. So you can see right here why Erdrick's Armor is so important if you haven't realized that already. The Dragon Lord always has 50% Dragon Lord Breath. So I should actually write that. DL2 always has 50% DL2 Breath. So that's something you always need to know. Also, damage rolls on DL2 Breath are only 42, 44, 46, or 48, with 42 and 48 having half odds to land. This one's a little weird. I don't know exactly why it is this specific way, but it has something to do with the rounding in the game. So what's important to note is I think the way it goes is 42 and 48 both have 1 out of 8 chance to happen, and 44 and 46 have 3 out of 8. If you add that up, that's 8. So there is a 37, or I should say, whenever you have 48, like you're just hoping the Dragon Lord doesn't roll a 48, it has a 1 in 8 chance, if it breathes, to have a 48 damage roll. Which means, since it happens half the time, it's 1 in 16. Good odds to know when you're thinking about the end of the game. So the last bit here, odds are all abilities, when rolled, have a 25%, 50%, or 75% odds attached to them. However, Sleep and DL2 Breath are locked at a max of 50%, however. So they roll 25% or 50%. I believe those are even odds all the way across. So you can have an enemy who has Heal More at 25%. You may never see it, because when you're in its Heal More range, it might not cast it. However, due to a couple of particularly punishing seeds, Sleep and Dragon Lord 2 Breath, which are the two worst spells, I think, in this group to see on an enemy overall. Just because Sleep can get you killed sometimes with no ability to get out of it. And Dragon Lord 2 Breath can kill you for, I'd say, a good portion of the seed once you see it. Those are locking at 50% just to make certain parts a little bit easier. And the last section here, enemy AI. Enemies always do things in a specific order. So when enemies have abilities, or no, let's put it this way. An enemy can have at max 1 ability from each group. So they can have Heal and Hurt, but not Heal and Hurt More, or Heal and Heal More, excuse me. This means that if you see an enemy with Stop Spell, you know it doesn't have a heal on the back end. If you see somebody cast Sleep, it's not going to have those. In fact, you see Stop Spell, usually that's a good thing, unless it's an enemy you really need to kill with magic. With like the Hurt spell, then that's usually a pretty good thing. Pretty good matchup to have. And likewise, you won't see somebody with DL2 Breath and Hurt More. That's not going to happen. So you can use this information to kind of help you out. And let me... Stupid auto format. One more element to this. So, you know what? Let's put another tab over. There we go. Also, when an enemy is deciding what to do on its turn, it will first roll against the healing status effect spell, then the damage ability, then physically attack if the previous 2 rolls both fail. So what is important about this to know, the important thing here, oh good, it's right above my head. Just duck down a little bit. What's good about this one is that, so whenever you see an enemy if it has, say, stop spell, DL2 breath, and it has stop spell at 75% and DL2 at 50%, what actually happens is that every time you see it, it has a 75% chance to cast stop spell, and then a 25% chance left, where of that, a 50% chance to cast Dragon Lord 2 breath, it gets halved, so then it's only a 12.5% chance to use that, and then 25% chance to, or a 12.5% chance to attack. So you can really look at this as like rolls against 1d16, then where if no abilities, it's 16 out of 16 to attack. And then it's 4, 8, 12 out of the first, and then you kind of work that out of the second. So that's a way you can think about it if you want. I'm not sure how helpful that would be, but let's say, so if 50% heal, 50%, well, let's not even go with heal. Let's go 50% stop spell, because heal will only proc, when it can proc. But stop spell and sleep don't have restrictions. So 50% stop spell, 75% hurt, then it's 8 out of 16 to stop spell. And then it's, what do you say, that's 8. 6 out of 16 to hurt, 2 out of 16 to attack. Yeah, so it's that sort of way. That's the sort of number percent you'd actually have. That's getting really into the weeds, really into the difficult stuff. But the important things to know here are how these spells work. And here at the end, just realizing what order they are in, so that 25% heal is always a 25% heal, or 75% heal is always a 75% heal. But a dangerous ability, if they have a status effect, these are more likely to proc first. Heck, if you have 25% stop spell and 75% hurt, like you can see here, 50 to 75, it's still more likely to cast stop spell. So if 25% stop spell, 75% hurt, then it's, actually I can't even do this math this way. Let's do 50%, that's easier. Then it's 4 out of 16 stop spell, and then you'd be looking at 12. So 6 out of 16 hurt, and 6 out of 16 attack. So there you go. This is, again, a little short video about how enemy abilities work, and I probably went into more detail than I need to, but hopefully this is helpful for you. Thank you.